It's about to get a lot worse for America, but you need to pay attention. I've been sharing this information with you guys for over 2 years now, and now we're here. Here's the Super Bowl. But there's a reason why I remain so calm, and there's a reason why my warriors stay so calm. This is nothing new under the sun. This has happened in human history over and over and over again. And if you educate yourself and understand what's happening at a deep level, you will know that this is the greatest time in human history and one of the only shots you're going to get to shift your family's wealth, consciousness, spirituality, and human behavior timeline. Now, that was a lot to unpack. I'm going to share with you guys facts, figures, numbers, logic. There's a reason why I do long form videos like this, because this is not about 60 seconds. This is about getting control of your attention span, because you're paying attention to stuff and you're paying for that attention. We have a massive narrative going on right now. Trump being indicted. Everybody's looking this way as your whole monetary system is switching this way. So I'm going to present to you facts, figures, numbers, logic. Then I'm going to use my logical circuit and connect what I think is happening. This is not financial advice. It's some long-haired hippie dude that is providing you information. So don't make financial moves based on what I say. I'm just sharing you through what I'm doing and using social to document my journey in the future. My skill set is macro and microeconomics, having a logical circuit, and helping human beings get their shit together through my 120 channel. That's my skill. And I'll repeat this. No YouTuber, no TikToker has inside information to the elites and what's happening. They're not coming to TikTokers and YouTubers and telling us what's happening. So be very careful and have discernment with who you're listening to include me. Don't trust a word I say, trust the feeling and vibration it creates in your body and act accordingly. Okay, if you're still here, you're my warrior, you're the one I want to talk to. Okay, so the dollar dominance is done. So China and Malaysia are discussing Asian Monetary Fund to de-dollarize. Brazil and China strike a deal to de-dollarize. China and Russia are working together to de-dollarize. And as I predicted and shared with you guys, that the dollar was going to start to slump going into Q2, Q3, and Q4 of 2023. So let's pause for a moment and let's understand what I'm talking about. So in America, from 2020 to about 2022, the printing machine was on full blast at the beginning of 2022. The more money you print in a non-backed currency, or fiat, which means fake money, the more it devalues that currency. At the same time, during that 24 months, central banks were stacking gold. That should tell you something. All central banks around the world. So we're going to stop saying depression or recession and let's start calling it a transition. When you're in the middle of a transition, you as a normal everyday citizen have the opportunity to invest in that transition, which could be life-changing for your family. So let's start using the word transition. Fair? So there has to be a reason why they just turn the printing machine on full blast. During the pandemic, they shut us all down. And Rosie Rios said this, not me. She said, in order to move consumer behavior, you have to have an event. In order to move consumer behavior, you have to have an event. I'm paraphrasing. Okay, so there was a big event that changed our lives, consumer behavior, and human consciousness. So they knew there was a transition from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. Industrial was dying, going into technical. They were working to reduce cash and coin. That's Rosie Rios, what she said in 2012. She was tasked with reducing cash and coin. But consumer behaviors were not changing because you need an event to move human behavior. So people still will continue to use cash until they can't use it or it's complete trash. So this is just my interpretation. So for the last 24, 36 months, they've just went all in on printing as much as possible, trillions of dollars. Then they slammed on the brakes in 2022. They jacked up interest rates. Here's where the transition starts to happen. They tell you cryptocurrency's a fraud. They collapse a couple cryptocurrency exchange. They collapse a stable coin. Crypto's a fraud. Crypto's a fraud. We need to regulate it. At the same time, in 2017, all the large banks, the 6 large institutions, were getting set up with distributed ledger technology and their own blockchain technology. But crypto's a fraud. Blockchain's here to stay. So stay out of cryptocurrency. Stay out of decentralization. We want to make sure we're set up. And once we're set up, we're going to give you regulation and tell you it's safe. And then you can come to our institutions and you can put your crypto there. Because we need liquidity. Because you're the liquidity. Every dollar in the system is someone else's debt. Every dollar in the system is someone else's debt. Oh yeah, in 2012, they started the Bank Bail-In Committee at the FDIC. And the very guy who initiated the case against Ripple, Jay Clayton, who left 3 days later, the SEC, now consults or is on the board of directors for the FDIC. Think about that. And was in the meeting for the bank bail-ins. And then a couple months later, we have our first bank bail-in. But the first bank to bail in was one of the largest fintech banks. Interesting. That had a lot of crypto deposits in it. That's weird. And overnight, 160 billion was liquidated because of technology. And some tweets on Twitter. So one of the largest fintech banks that held some of the largest crypto companies is the first to bail in. Interesting. And then Circle says we had 8% exposure and that unpegs a stablecoin. Again, showing you cryptocurrency is volatile and cryptocurrency is a fraud. Your US dollar has no value. What are you talking about? So now we're in this weird transition. Again, let's call it transition, not depression, where America's giving up their dollar dominance. And I told you the US dollar is going to start to cool down on Q2, Q3. Then when it starts to cool down, people start to pull their profits because rich people in other countries are putting their money in the dollar because it was valuable because the interest rates are going up. So now you're seeing people pull profits. Everybody's working to de-dollarize. America's going to come collapsing down with our dominance. They changed the rules with the FDIC and the feds, and they're going to bail out everybody's deposits because we're in a transition. Oh, wait, at the exact same time, right after the bail-ins, FedNow Services goes live. And on April 24th, 2023, it's a qualified direct deposit at Wells Fargo Bank. So you're in a liquidity crisis. The middle class is going to get wiped out, leveraged towards technology, as Jerome Powell says. And they're going to, I'm saying this, is going to move down to the working poor. Debt is so expensive now, the normal everyday American can't borrow themselves out of trouble anymore. And companies are going to have to start to lay people off in Q3 and Q4. So we're going to need assistance. Download your FedNow Services wallet and we'll give you assistance, universal basic income. Everybody is moving to a central bank digital currency. You're not going to stop it. Everybody's moving to a central bank digital currency. You can argue in the comments what's going to happen. Not us, but every central bank is going to move to a central bank digital currency. There's a reason why Kamala Harris was doing a tour in Africa as her country is collapsing, because Africa is one of the second largest continents in the world that has one of the largest populations, and 1 out of every 6 internet users, this is her words, is going to come from Africa within the next 10 years. Interesting. And there's some of the most unbanked people that don't have access to the financial system like we do. So she's hanging out in Africa, getting them involved in financial inclusion to get their liquidity into the system, because we're in a liquidity crisis and we're in a transition to 24/7 real-time payments, on-demand liquidity. It's a transition, guys. It is not a depression. Unfortunately, many people are going to end up in a depressed position because they've been working their whole life to stack a 401k. They've been working their whole life to earn a pension. And every way we do business, every way we do finances, every way we show up to work and relationships is about to change. There's a transition from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, industrial to technical, a spiritual transition, and 99% of the population is asleep. So what's going to happen is we're going to move into a distributed ledger technology. Everything is going to be tokenized. Everything. The stock market, your real estate, your marriage contract, your medical records, everything will be tokenized. Everything. Everything will be on a blockchain. Everything will move at the speed of light. That's why ISO 20002 is going live and phasing up into 2025. It's the messaging at the speed of light. Money will now move 24/7, 365 days a year through FedNow Services. This is a transition, not a depression. The US dollar dominance has to happen in order for them to create the central bank digital currencies, a bag of currencies to regulate the overall currency, and money will move at the speed of light. So what we are doing is investing in these innovative technologies, working to get a few right. And if we get a few right, we secure, we grow, we reinvest in future technologies. It's not the technology that's evil, it's the user of it. I've used this phone to spread a message of love, kindness, freedom, and to stay calm in the greatest transition in human history. And other people use these phones for nefarious things. It's the user of the tool, not the tool. Warriors! Get your shit together. Love you guys. If you need help getting your shit together, there is no get rich quick. Join my 120-day challenge, link in bio, 7 days for free in 2023. Who you become in the process of becoming a millionaire is more important than anything. Love you guys.